lost my union insurance during the pandemic. And this actually, it ties right into what you just said and also leads into that story that I think you guys will love this one. So I had a stretch, there was no acting work. They turned off a light switch in our entire, you can't go on a film set. You crazy, can't do it. But to get insurance through the Screen Actors Guild, you have to act a certain amount, earn a certain amount of money. And when you get past the threshold of earnings, you get insurance, which is a fair enough system. I lost it. I'm not the most active guy. I've always done it my way. Everybody else moves to LA. I moved to Jersey. These are choices I made. They put me off the grid, made it harder, But I lost my insurance. My son was not even 2 years old. I lost my family's insurance. My wife, my son, their insurance flows through me. Felt like a failure as a dad. Felt really bad. Things wound up working out. I had a miracle where my lawyer realized that there was a bunch of money owed to me under a Writers Guild contract that had never been paid. So the Writers Guild insurance kicked in. So we only didn't have insurance for a couple months.
Oh, wow. But
still, to not have insurance for your kid for a couple months when your kid's not even 2 years old, I felt like a bad father. It's not an artist complaining. As far as being a comedian, when real life things like that happen, I'm not sitting here going, oh man, comedy. I'm sitting here going, I feel like I'm letting down my son as a father. It's a much worse feeling and a much bigger thing than comedy. So during that same stretch is when I mentioned that Earwolf started to unionize, and there were so many back channel conversations, and I was part of these committees trying to unionize. And there was another host who had a bigger show, and he kept saying, we got to make bigger demands. If we're going to unionize, it needs to be for this and that. And I was able to step in and get through to him and say, I don't think we're going to get all that. And I said, I also don't think that this unionization is going to particularly help you because you're doing really, really well in other areas. I was like, there's podcast hosts from the Earwolf world. Most of Earwolf's these LA actors, improvisers, comedians, actors, right? I go, there's people who have maybe booked a commercial and they're $4,000 away from their health insurance. This would get them there.
Wow.
Like, this isn't the total contract that we want. But there's people who have had a bit part on a show, and with the residuals from the bit part they had last year, if their podcast can earn them $8,000, it might get them insurance. This is about reestablishing the middle class pathway into insurance. This host did get it, and I think cooled down. We wound up not unionizing because so many of the hosts with the most bargaining power, honestly, I think just got a little sick of it and moved to independent spaces, Patreon, other networks where they were the big fish again in a smaller pond, which Earwolf was making it clear wasn't the case anymore. I'm really airing out the dirty laundry of that. All that being said, Earwolf they did take good care of me for years. Like, I'm not bitter. I'm not mad. These are just the facts. No one can debate the facts. So, a few months after all that goes down, I get a call from the Screen Actors Guild representative that was our liaison on that unionization effort, out of the blue, probably a year later. And I pick up, and I was psyched to hear from her. She was like, hey man, how's it been going? I'm like, good, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, I want you to know that your name has been coming up at a bunch of internal union meetings lately. And I was like, why? Because I'm not putting myself down, but like, I am a rank and file member of the Screen Actors Guild, the WGA. Haven't had that many WGA jobs. The ones I've had have been like big, but they've been spread out. Screen Actors Guild, I've been a member for 23 years, earned my insurance most of those years through acting, but just like barely. I'm a guy. She was like, because in those unionization meetings, I had said, like, I lost my insurance because I came up a few grand short. This would have got my family insurance. And she goes, I clocked that. And she was like, I was watching that Zoom and I was like, he must have misspoke. And then she went and like checked my records through the back channel as much as she was legally able to through SAG. And she was like, when we realized like You hosted your own show on True TV for 3 years. You've had parts on The Office, Broad City, Parks and Recreation. Down the list, you've been in The Heat and The Other Guys and Anchorman 2. And she's like, if you go to your IMDb and look at it, we all sit here and go, if you can be this active a member of our union and you still need to worry about health insurance,
wow,
what the hell is going on? So she was like, we might want to talk to you more about that. I was like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like anything I can do to like lay out where I've been at, if it helps other people and if it helps kind of guide the priorities, absolutely. But I did remember feeling both this sense of pride that she knew that I'm someone who will like be like, yeah, I'll sit down and talk. Let's go. Let's help all the other artists. Can I help? Can I help other people avoid this stress? Can I help make it easier? What do I have to do? But I remember also feeling like so distinctly, like, you don't want to be discussed at a union meeting as like, they put your picture up on the wall and go, hey guys, this is like, this individual dude seems to be the guy that if you make more than him, you're good. And if you make less than him, you're fucked. Like that's not, you don't want to land. You don't want to be that example of like, man, this guy's losing his insurance. And if he's losing his insurance, like he's had a pretty decent career. So there's a lot of members who aren't as visible as him, who haven't been on shows like the ones I named, who must be struggling. I'm going, that's rough. That's a little rough to know that like my picture's on the wall at Screen Actors Guild as like, this is the hinge upon which success swings.